Hello, everyone. Welcome again to a live at 5 here from Allegory Gallery. Sorry, I'm coming to you about 10 minutes late. We had a few people in the store, so I had to finish helping the customers in the store, and then I closed up, and here we are. So I hope everything is going well for you all out there. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on a rewatch, thank you for rewatching. We really appreciate all of your support out there. It really does help. As many of you know, or maybe not know, Andrew and I started Allegory Gallery just about 10 and a half years ago. We started from scratch, and I still worked another job while we started the store and got things going, and Andrew focused on that. And for the first 4 years, we had another job to support us while we got the store off and running. And we started with very, very, very little because we don't come from a lot of money. And so all through the years, we've just built up the store. And, you know, with your support out there, many of you who have been with us from the beginning, who watch these videos, we really do appreciate that. We just thank you so much for, you know, the amount of things that we've been able to do in the last 10 years or so, starting from almost nothing. I mean, really, you know, if you've seen photos, and there are photos out there on Facebook and videos out there on YouTube of where we started, it was like we had one wall of check glass. We had one or two small kind of, they were actually dressers. We had a dresser that we used that we put on top. We put a few trays of seed bead tubes. We had our art wall. So we had our art exhibition up for the grand opening, or I don't think we had it up for the grand opening. It didn't come in until a little bit later. We got that up on the day or two after, I think. And then we had our first art opening too. We really started from almost nothing. And so we like to let people know out there that, you know, you can start from very little. Yes, of course, we've had a lot of luck. And, you know, there's something about, there's a quote that I just heard yesterday from Goethe that something about be bold and the spirits or the angels will assist you, or something like that. I don't know the exact quote. I can't remember it. But I'd like to think that sometimes that's what happens. You know, sometimes you make the jump, and by making that jump, you find the support that you need. And luckily, very luckily, we found all of you out there, or you found us, and you are the support we need. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, so, you know, if you have not seen where Allegory Gallery has come from and you're interested at all, there is a 10th anniversary video out on YouTube. I think it's on Facebook as well. And you can watch that video, and it takes you sort of through what we started with, all the way from the beginning of finding the space that we found. We didn't actually find the space. We were presented with the space because someone else in town had a space. They had kind of their space behind this other space. And the landlord was going to kick them out because the landlord had somebody to take both spaces. But if that other business was able to find somebody to fill the front of the building, which that was weird leaving it up to the other tenant, but that was the option, they were able to stay. And so we had just gone to the grand opening of a local restaurant, a northern Chinese cuisine restaurant that had just opened. And we decided to go out for the evening after that. And we just happened to see this woman who owned the other business. And we, you know, she pretty much came running up to us because we literally just met her about a week or two before that. This is the first time we'd ever met. And she recognized us from having been in her store and chatting with her. And she ran up and said, "Do you want to start a store?" I think those were her first words to us that evening, and hello and all that came after. And I was gung-ho on it, but Andrew was definitely not. So, you know, it was one of those things. But the next day we had the tape measures out, and we were down there measuring the space to see what we could do. And many of you know we didn't have a lot of money, so we went to the banks for loans, and we were literally laughed at by the bank manager. because, you know, we're in a town of, you know, this is a town of about 1,500 people. If you take the township, the entire area, which extends into other towns, actually, it's weird how it works around here. Like the cottage is actually in what we call Fairfield Township, but it's still in the address of Ligonier. It's strange. But there's about 6,000 people. But in the township, there's 1,500. And when banks look at things like that, about how much your support capacity is for opening a retail store, they laughed at us, laughed at Andrew, I should say. And, you know, that wasn't the best feeling at all. But we kept going. And after that, we kind of realized that we're going to have to do it on our own. And luckily, I had worked at Apple for a little while, and I invested in some stock, which was not a lot. When you talk about Apple stock, people think you're rolling in money. It was not a lot. And it is more than I know that some other people have, and we were thankful for that. But luckily, I had been smart and invested in as much stock options as I could while I was there. And that allowed us to purchase purchase inventory from a buyout from a store that had closed. And that's all we had to start, which was not a lot. It looked like a lot to us when we were new, but when you started putting it in the space, it was not a lot. So if you look at those videos, you can see that. And I just say this for those of you who may not know us, who have no idea who we are or where we came from. Andrew and I met in New York in 2007. We moved to Pennsylvania in 2009 after we both got tired of New York. We had both been there for much longer than that. And we just got tired of it. So we moved back into the country where I'm from. And we were lucky enough that my aunt had an open apartment that we rented from her. And it was really nice being with family again. And Andrew got to meet my family and get to know them a little bit. And yeah, then we started the store while I was working another job. So, you know, people sometimes look at where you are and they don't realize how far you've come, right? Sometimes I don't, you know, we have a lot going on, and I know to some people, maybe it looks like, you know, we have tons of money and we're just rolling in it and we're just having fun, but it's a lot of work, and we don't have a ton of money. And, you know, we try to keep our margins as low as possible so that we can give you good deals. Everything we do, we try to hand do it as much as we possibly can. Even Star Cottage Studio, there are things that we cannot do. We cannot do electrical, so we had to hire someone, but we found friends who gave us great deals on that. We're very lucky to have them, and that they were able to find time in their schedule working for other people to also fit us in at a very good rate, which was amazing. And we still have a lot to do, but a lot of it is being done by hand as much as we can. And so, you know, all this to say that we've come a long way, but the only reason we've come a long way is because all of you out there are there to support us and to send that love and to send that good positive energy to us. There are people who will always try to tear you down, right? And I try to look at that. I try to look at that as, you know, if there are people out there trying to tear you down, at least you've made it somewhere, right? In some capacity, you must have made it, because there are people out there who are trying to bring you down. So obviously it looks like you're doing pretty well, and hopefully you are, right? And I guess that's the case of things, and the way things are is that, you know, I see behind the scenes. I know what our bills are. I know what our, you know, debts are. I know all of that. But looking on the outside, you don't always see that. And I think that's the same thing with anything, right? With anybody. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I was watching some things on YouTube, and I don't know if it was there or if I was reading this, but there was an idea that, you know, we all go around with this insane imagination, right? Everybody has this entire world inside your own head, and you see things from your point of view, and you understand things from where you are. But when we meet other people, we sometimes lump them into, okay, well, I kind of know that personality and I know this personality. But if you could see inside the heads, and you could be inside the heads of all those other people, imagine the kind of situation that may put you into, right? It's sometimes we look at somebody and we just see them as a human, or we see them as a person. We don't see them as that complex, emotional and, majestic thing that we are, right? We think of ourselves that way a lot, and we think about how much we have going on in our heads and all that. And I think the same thing happens with things that you do, right? If you have a business, people see that and they see what you present. It's a lot like social media, right? We present, we try to be very, I think we're more open than a lot of people. At least we try to be very open with all of you because we care about you and we want you to be part of what we're doing. But sometimes, that whole thing looks like, okay, well, they have the cottage and they have their business and they have a pewter line now and they must just be doing so great. And I will tell you, we struggle. We still struggle. We're just very lucky that we have, when we purchase things, we have vendors who are willing to, take a deposit and we pay on it as we go, And that's a big thing in the business world, right? You have 30, 60, 90 days. Some people extend further. We're just very lucky that we have vendors and people and friends around us that care about how we do, so they make it easier for us to do what we do. And we're very lucky on the back end like that. And we're very lucky on the front end with all of you who, you could support any bead company. It's, beads are beads. We do a special thing where we curate ours. We don't always have the same thing over and over. We try to find a good selection for you, some limited time things. We like to work that way. It doesn't lend itself necessarily to growing huge, right? If we wanted to grow huge, we would find vendors that supplied the same thing all the time, and we would push all those things, right? But we're more, boutique-like, where we curate certain things in smaller quantities for you, and we hope that you love them because we spend money on them. We buy a lot of our inventory outright. It's for the larger purchases sometimes that we have to, go on credit or on terms, but we buy a lot of our stuff outright and we invest the money because we believe in it. It's something that if we believe in, hopefully you will believe in. And we always say this, that we would not sell you something that we wouldn't use, right? If it's not quality enough that we would use it in our designs, we won't sell it to you. Now, that's not to say that we use everything we have, because it's not our style. It's not Andrew's style of design. It's not my style of design, but they're quality enough that we would sell them to you, right? And that we would use them if the purpose arose. So we like that kind of boutique feeling. And sometimes that's harder because we talk about this ceiling that we sometimes feel like we've hit. And it's, for the past few years, we have really been trying to grow and trying to push. But doing business in this way is sometimes more difficult, right? Because you don't have that constant supply where you can just kind of check this box. I know it's going to keep arriving. We're going to keep getting it. We're going to keep pushing it out the door. We have to constantly and consistently find new interesting things, new vendors, or maybe new things from our regular vendors. But it's something that we're constantly, we're not just checking tick mark boxes on inventory and saying, oh yeah, we're going to get this again, this again, this again, this again, send it off to somebody. We can't do the purchase order type thing where we know what we're buying every single time and we bring in those same things. So when Andrew and I are consistently and constantly looking for new things, it takes brain energy, right? And it takes time away from, doing other things. So that's one of the reasons, and this all leads into the AG pewter line that we picked up. That's one of the reasons we want to go into manufacturing. With the AG fine pewter line that we are doing now, we have the rights to this line. It is ours now. And so many of you, and thank you so much, so many of you have ordered from that line. And I'm ecstatic about that. I think that's a very, positive direction we're heading in. And I really do believe that for somebody like us, somebody who does not bring in the same things all the time. And for people who were constantly searching for new things and cool things, and we're a small quantity buyer, we need to have something that is in production and something that we can, constantly make and add to and possibly wholesale down in the future. So I want to thank you all for helping us. And this all leads to this point, how I talk about we start out small. This is the next evolution. And I think Andrew and I are both feeling it. And I hope you're starting to feel it. Allegory Gallery is always going to be Allegory Gallery. We are always going to look for the best, unique, fun things that we can find while still catering to the basics and, teaching. We love teaching beginners. And so we'll never deviate from what we offer in that way. But I do believe that we are finally, hopefully, going to break through this ceiling that we've been at for a number of years, sales-wise, customer-wise, product-wise, with the Allegory Gallery Fine Pewter line. And I hope that's the case. I have this feeling, and I think Andrew's feeling the same thing. We have this new kind of energy that we feel coming in. And a lot of that is coming from you all. Like I said, we've had so many orders for the AG Pewter line, and we're very appreciative of that. And like I said, I hope that you love them as much as we do. We're going to try and get all that stuff in your hands as quickly as possible. I know we are delayed with shipping right now. And that's twofold. Our shipping helper is off, so we're shipping out as much as we can without that extra help, which is not easy. And the second thing is that we are moving the online store stuff, which is behind me, to Star Cottage Studio, but there's a lot of work at the studio that has to be done before we can move it there. We have painting and we have shelving to do and an organization so that we can get that up and running. So I'd like to say thank you. I also want to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your patience as we kind of evolve into this next chapter that is going on. And I really do believe once you all get the fine pewter pieces that you're ordering, I really think you're going to love them. When we went to see them, we still had not gotten a very good idea of what they were. And then when we were inspecting them and taking a look at everything, we knew that this was something special. And I really think that it is. And I'm really hopeful that you will find things that you love and that you will reorder. That's the biggest thing, is we don't want this to be so much of our inventory is a one-time thing. You order this gemstone strand and then we're out of stock. That's all we've got. But the AG Pewter line is something that we hope you will find your favorite things and you will order them over and over and over again to use in your designs, maybe in a different finish or maybe the same finish because you're making multiples for a show. We really do hope that you find the things you like and that you actually like them when you get them. I think you will. I don't know why you wouldn't. But you never know with a new thing, right? This is new to us, and having a product line that we are going to constantly keep making, and it will evolve, but we will keep supplying the same thing, is a little nerve-wracking because we're used to doing, the thing over and over where we find new things. So we hope you enjoy it. We will be getting it out to you as soon as we can. Yeah, I just wanted to chat a little bit about that. From the start here, because I think it's important. I think people don't always understand, especially new. We've gotten so many wonderful new viewers from the TGBE, and a lot of you don't know where we come from. And I like to, every once in a while, kind of recap and let you know. Allegory Gallery started in 2011. We started with very little. We could barely fill, I think our space was maybe 15 by 15, something like that. Maybe 20 by 15. It was a small space. And we could barely, we did not fill that. We didn't come close to filling that. We had tables that were empty. We had, we had a lot of things that we thought might work. We played a hide and seek game for a while, and we found out no one seeks in retail when they're buying retail, or at least most people don't. It was not enough for a successful business, so we quickly moved things and changed the furniture and made things more out in the open. But Yeah, we've been through 3 different locations. This is our 3rd location in town, and every time we have grown in size, and um, we are we are continuing to grow, I hope, in various ways. And Star Cottage Studio is a huge part of that. That's where Andrew is going to be able to make some of his more custom pieces. He will be able to design the masters for some more fine pewter in that line, and just really, kind of start his own, line of things, and the finished pieces that he's always been more interested in doing. He'll finally have that opportunity to do that. And hopefully the fine pewter line takes off, and we can also, like I said, wholesale it. And that'll be an entirely new business model for us, because we don't do a lot of wholesale. We do it with our wooden pendants from time to time in various bead stores around the country. But that's really the only thing that we have that we can do that with at this moment, and we don't do a lot. So stepping into production on a pewter line will give us hopefully a much bigger audience for wholesale as well. And with that, hopefully more income, which is what we always hope, so that we can keep doing more things with you all. We're getting back into, we talked a little bit about our book club a few days ago, I think, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. I can't remember what days or what anymore. But we have our book club that we're going to hopefully start back up very soon. We have our classes in store that we're going to start back up very soon. And we plan to do more videos, hopefully live videos with unboxings and things like that that we used to do. Just, some more fun stuff, and getting back to, we don't want to lose track of the community at large, both you all out there and our local community. I feel like with COVID, community has kind of taken a back seat in the physical store, in the brick and mortar here. And that's been out of necessity, but we are very excited to be able to bring some of these things back. And we're working hard to make the room for all of these, because we want it to be something special. So yeah, that's my talk. Let me actually, I've been watching people come in, so I've not been ignoring you. But let me say hi. Hello, Susan. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Lucien. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Terry, Teresa, Donna, Suzanne, Nicole. Thank you for joining us. Helena is coming to us from Walden, New York. Thank you so much. Hello, Susan, our neighbor, saying you're both a wonderful addition to Ligonier. Thank you so much. I don't always know that we are. I like to hear that, of course. Who doesn't like to hear that? But, I hope we make a difference in the community. I really do. And hopefully we can get back to that with, like I said, with our book club, with classes, with art openings, new art openings again. Hopefully we can start the art walk back up at some point. That would be a fun thing to do. So hopefully we do. Hopefully we make some kind of, good addition to the community. Suzanne says, but who wants to look like everyone else, right? We don't want to look like everyone else, because we're not everyone else. We are who we are, and we hope that resonates with people, and we hope it continues to resonate with people as we move forward in what we're doing. Hello, Brooke, coming to us from Detroit. Thank you so much. Donna says, I love everything I've ordered from Allegory Gallery. I love the items are unique too. Yeah, and that's what we like. I think I can speak for me. I don't know about speaking for Andrew, but I don't like doing the same thing all the time, right? If I came in and we had the same gemstones all the time, and we had the same findings all the time, yes, it would be something that you could consistently order, which is nice. That's always nice, and that's what we hope to do with the pewter line. But it would bore me to tears to have the same thing in the store all the time. I love getting new things. I love going through them and kind of looking at them and inspecting them and checking them out. I love new things. So when we get the unique things, the new things in, I love that. And I hope you do too. And it seems like you do. I know it's hard sometimes. You find something you love and you can't get it again. But that's the nature of the beast, as they say, I guess. And that's kind of how we roll. So, but just do know that if you do have something that you've ordered from us, there is a possibility we can get some of it again. So if you do find something that you love and you're wondering, do you have this anymore? and we don't, we might be able to get it for you. So you can always ask. If you know, if you have an order number, or especially if it's online, or if you have a SKU from us, that always helps, because sometimes I can look those up and I can find where the vendor was, and if I have the old part number from that vendor, sometimes I can reorder things, or Andrew will reorder things. So it is possible in some of our inventory, but some of the things like we get from Tucson and when we go to shows and buy, those are one of a kind, and that's kind of the fun of it though, right? I think so. Carmen says, hello all, I love every product that I've ordered. Good, thank you, I'm glad. Renee says, I loved your small shop. Yeah, we've had, you know, whether you talk about the first location, the second location, or this in our third location, we're not a huge store. You see these people who have like thousands and thousands of square feet, and you know, that's not us. We don't have a lot of space, but we try to pack as much in as we can, and we try to make it as, you know, fun and enjoyable to make things with what we have as we can. Donna says, I can't make the same design twice, right? Some people can't. I'm not good at that. I don't do a lot of design, but I don't like assembly line stuff. Sometimes it's necessary, right? Sometimes people just love what you do, and it's good to make the same thing or make a few of them. You know, and we can cater to that to a point. Like I said, if you find something you like, we might be able to reorder it, even if we don't have it in stock. Pricing can change, of course. That's one of those things. But we like different things too. And I think a lot of you out there like to make different things. And that's kind of the fun of all this, right? I think so. So what else is everyone doing out there today? My day flew by. I looked at the clock and I did not realize that it was like we had customers, and I finally looked at my clock at one point. I was like, ooh, okay, we're getting really close to live time. Luckily we wrapped everything up just in the nick of time. We're a little bit late. But we were able to start here fairly on time, about 10 minutes late. So yeah, it's been a crazy day. It started out raining and gray, and now it's clear and sunny. You never know. You never know from day to day. It's 57 degrees. The high, it says, was 70. I don't believe it was ever 70 today, but it's saying it's 57 now. Maybe it's going to get warmer as it gets toward the evening. Sometimes it does that in the spring, right? It gets warmer as it gets darker, heading into the next day. But it's a beautiful day right now. Let's see. Susan says, although I've never been to your physical store, every video you post is a feast for the eyes. Thank you. Yeah. We try to make things pretty, right? I keep squinting. I'm looking at my windows out front, and they're very dirty. I need to clean our windows. It's spring. I need to do the spring cleaning and get the windows cleaned in the front. It's making me a little bit crazy right now. But it's always this time of day, kind of when the sun shines in, and you're like, okay, they're dirty. I need to clean them. But I could say that at any point, because we're right on, you know, the main strip through town, so they get dirty quickly. Susan says, quiet day filled with errands, then home. Sunny in the 60s here. Nice. Today is colder than yesterday here. It's much colder here than yesterday. We were almost at 80 degrees yesterday, and we're at 57 now. So it is much colder here too. Much colder here too. Let's see here. Donna says, we dodged some pretty nasty storms last night. That's good. I'm glad. Very glad. You know, we worry about people when we see storms coming through. We know where a lot of you are. And we want you all to be okay, right? We especially people that we've known for quite a while. We get to know where you are. We see your orders come in. We know where things are shipping to. And we do want you to be well. And when we see weird weather patterns happening, and we know a lot of you deal with that a lot. So we hope everyone's okay out there and staying warm, at least as warm as you can, with nice, you know, comforts. We do hope you're doing well. Suzanne just paid your invoice. Thank you. Thank you so much. I finally got to your stuff. I've been in and out of the store a lot. Today I was actually here. Let's see. Donna says, I was glad too. One headed for the county I live in, but it weakened. That's good. That's good news. All right. Well, how about today's only a sneak preview. We did a sneak preview yesterday of some other, not the AG pewter line, but some other components that we purchased, and they are now live in the online store. I told you they would be by this afternoon, and they were. I posted a little blurb on Facebook. We also added some of those pewter vessels that I had shown you a while ago and finally got them online. So those are online. You can still use the coupon code right there. 20% off everything in the online store, including those new additions, with the discount code TGBE at allegorygallery.com. So you can always do that. And yeah, we're going to keep adding stuff for you. The coupon code ends tomorrow at midnight, our time, Eastern Daylight Time. So you have up until then to throw things in your cart and save that 20% off. That's a huge discount. We don't do that very often because our margins generally, we would go broke if we kept offering 20% off all the time. We just don't have the margin for that. So we do that once in a while. And this time we did it for TGBE, and it lasted for about a week. Well, it was a week from preview night. So it'll close up tomorrow at midnight. And I hope that you get the things that you love. It's a good time to get them. Our prices, I think, are always good anytime, but that extra 20% off really sweetens the deal. Maybe you can throw in an extra strand that you weren't thinking of getting or something like that. So I am not going to be able to get everything I'm going to show you today in the online store in order to use that coupon code. I can guarantee that. And when you see how much stuff I'm going to preview today, you'll see why, I think. But I'm hoping to get some of it in there. Some of, your favorite things. We have some things that I know people have liked before, and we've restocked on some. This is from a different vendor, but still some good stuff. So I'm going to try. I'm going to be alone in the store here the next few days, so I'm not going to have much help. So I'm going to try and do as much as I can, but I can guarantee you, and you'll see why. There's a lot I'm going to preview, and we're going to go through it fairly quickly today, but you'll see why. There's a lot of stuff. And for me to take pictures of everything and write descriptions and, inventory it and make SKUs for it all, get it online and get it posted, it won't happen before the discount's over, but hopefully some of it will by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. I'll have some of this stuff in the online store for you to save some money on before the prices revert back to retail, which is still a good deal. Still going to make them a good deal for you. But I know how it is in the world right now. I like a discount on things too. It's hard out there. Prices are going up. Inflation is real. Supply lines are insane. So we're just lucky to have gotten some new stuff. We're feeling very good about it. We hope you love it. Some of it is a little bit, I don't know what I want to say. It's not our normal thing, and you'll see why. But I hope you like it. I hope you find it fun and interesting and can use it in your designs. All right. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to take this banner away because this stuff is not in the online store yet. And you can't save on them yet because they're not even inventoried yet. I just did a quick look at them, unbox them a little bit here in between customers today. Thankfully, we had some customers today. That was amazing. For the past few days, we've barely had anyone walk in the door. Today, I think because it wasn't quite nice enough out to do things in the yard and to do all that, but it was nice enough that it cleared up toward the end of the day that it's kind of a little sunny. I think, that has something to do with it. People got out walking instead of, staying home today. So that was nice. It was nice to see people. And for those of you who remember Laurel, she stopped in today, which was amazing. We love to see her. I have not seen her in a long time. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun catching up a little bit. So, okay, let's see here. Let me flip this camera around. Tracy's asking, will there be classes again? Yes, Tracy. I talked about that a little bit in the beginning, so I won't rehash it here too much. You can watch the replay. But we do plan to have classes here again in town, in the store, hopefully starting around mid-May. That's our deadline right now we're trying to reach. Mid-May, probably the second week in May is the goal. That's if we can get all of the online store stuff over to Star Cottage Studio and get this wall pushed back and get this room rearranged a little bit, and our teacher can get back into the swing of things by then. That's the goal. That's what we're all heading toward. Got some things we definitely have to rearrange, but there will be classes in store very soon, hopefully within a month. Within a month is what we're aiming for. So I'm as excited about that as anyone because I love hanging out with people and making stuff. That's one of my favorite things to do in the store. And I have not been able to do it for about 2 years, really. So we're looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you. So let me flip this camera around and we are going to, let's see here. Oh, it is. This is my different stand. I always forget. And you're going to see our nice little broken ceiling there. How about that? Fancy, aren't we? We're super fancy here. And let me flip this camera around. All right. So here we go. Okay, there we are. Now, let's see. Let me clear my junk over here. Let me take a drink. My decaf coffee. And let's throw a penny here. All right. And the first thing, now I said in this video there are going to be gemstones and glass and crystal. There's also more. So there's going to be more than I said on the little preview or the little blurb. But the first thing I wanted to show you are these. These are the electroplated lava. Electroplated lava. I think we got them in 2 sizes. This is the 8mm, and we have them in, is this 4? This looks like 4mm. 4mm. All right, 4mm. So these are gemstone strands. They are approximately half strands. They're not full strands. We had them before in full strands, but we decided to go with half strands this time. We got a good deal on these. We're hoping to pass along a good deal to you. And these are pretty amazing. These have been super good sellers. So we have plain lava, which the plain lava, as many of you know, if you use them to make jewelry like bracelets or necklaces, this will absorb essential oils. So a lot of people use them to add essential oils to. Now the electroplated stuff, you can't do that. It won't stick. But the plain, you can absorb oils into, and you can use them that way. All right. But Donna says this must be really popular. They are. These are really popular. It's crazy. But the nice thing about this, there we go, Tracy, right? Black and gold from Pittsburgh. The nice thing about this, and I think one of the reasons why they're so popular is, you know, if you've used lava before, if you've ever held it, it's super light, right? So these are electroplated, so they have a thin coating of metal electroplated onto them. But so you get the look of metal beads and of nice sized metal beads, right? But they're exceptionally light. So you can use them very easily in earrings and in design like that. And it doesn't tug on your ears too much or anything like that. So these will be half strands that will be available. These I'm going to try and get into the online store quickly so that you can save the 20% on these. Because I know everyone has loved these so much, and why not give you savings on things you love, right? That's what we like to do. All right. Susan says, I've used the lava beads and they're really nice. Yeah, right? Donna says, it is light and great for spacers. That's another thing too, right? Especially these little ones. You can use them as spacer beads. All right. So there's that. And I'm going to put these back in my box over here. And let's see. The other thing we've got, where is it? I'm doing this out of the order that I have these in, but let's see here. There it is. The other thing are these, what we call mermaid glass. Mermaid glass. So the mermaid glass is super, super pretty. It has that beautiful shine to it. We got this, I think, in 2 or 3 different sizes as well. And this has, you know, we couldn't keep this in certain colors in the online store. We sold out almost immediately on a lot of this. So we said, let's bring in more colors. So we got a ton of colors. And this time we got half strands again. This vendor we're working with does a lot in these half strands, and we think that's easier. Sometimes a whole strand of something like this is too much. And if you want more, you can always buy more, right? So hopefully I have to check out the pricing on all of this, but hopefully we'll get some good pricing on these as well. I know you all love them. And now I think before we had a blue and we had some purple like this, but now we have yellow and green and this kind of almost labradorite color, and the pinks and even the clears, which I think are really fantastic too. So we will have these in the online store. I'm hoping this and the lava, those 2 things that I've shown you here first are the things that I'm hoping to get into the online store before that discount code ends for you all. I'm going to try hard tomorrow to do that and get everything done. I can't guarantee it. Being a Friday tomorrow, sometimes we actually do have, people in the store depending on the weather tomorrow, how it'll go. But I'm going to try. And like I said, I'm going to be alone in the store for the next few days. So it's going to be hard for me if customers come in, which we always hope they do and come and visit. But hopefully tomorrow I can get some of this stock in. I could work on some of it tonight, but I have some other things to do for my other job tonight. So always busy, right? I have to work on some sales promotions for my other job. So this is what it's going to be for now. Hopefully we'll get these in tomorrow. Now, something we have not had that kind of ties into that look. Let me find the main strand here, if I can, is this. And I think I'm going to call this like a galaxy glass or something like that. These, let me see if I can get down on here. Galaxy glass, I think I'm going to call it. These are gorgeous. These are gorgeous. And these are something that we have not had before. We have them now. We're going to have them, I think, in 3 different sizes. We have 4, 6, and 8 millimeter. And it is so much fun. I am super, super interested in this right now. I don't know if you all like that, if that's your thing. It is a little bit blingy, right? I'm not normally a super blingy person, but this is just super pretty. Look at that. Look at that. What do y'all think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you like it, maybe I'll try and get it online too. Otherwise, I might have to stop at the other one. But I think it's fun. Maybe it's hard to see because it is so kind of glitzy. Teresa has to go. We'll watch the replay. Thank you, Teresa, for tuning in. Sarah loves the bling. The blinger, the better, says Donna. Yeah, see, some of you, I know some of you love the bling. So that's why we get it. We have to have a little bit of everything. But it is something that we have not had before. So we weren't sure about it, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. It's icy. I like icy, I guess. It's icy. Okay, so that maybe we'll try and get in the online store as well. I'm trying for a lot here, aren't I? I'm trying for a lot. Next up, we know some of you like to live dangerously using these tiny, tiny beads, right? Tiny, tiny beads. And so these are 2 millimeter faceted rounds. Think faceted rounds. Maybe they're faceted rondelles. No, these are faceted rounds. And we have all the colors in the faceted crystal. These are crystal. 2 millimeter faceted round crystal in all these colors. Now, I like that. That's some nice stuff right there. Some of this we're going to be putting into the physical store. You know, we've been neglecting the physical store just a little bit because it's been winter. So some of this is going to go into the physical store, but I'm going to try and split the inventory up between the online store and the physical store. Now we also have, that was the 2mm. We also have 3mm faceted rounds, because we know some of y'all love that, those little things. Harry says those 2mm make great fringe earrings, right? Right? Tracy, don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling, right? Bling is good. Sarah says gorgeous on the crystal. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have more crystal. This is something we normally sell out of pretty quickly because they're great for spacers. If you're not going to do anything with it other than that, but spacers, right? So let's see here. Harry says, like I said, he said you can make the fringe earrings with them. You can do a lot of fringe stuff with it. You can also use them as spacers. That's what a lot of our customers do. And they like a little bit of bling in between their beads. A little bit of bling in between the beads. There you go. And let's see, next up. This is one of the things we weren't sure about. And to be 100% honest with you, we're not even sure we ordered these because it's not our normal thing. But we're going to keep them because they're nice. There's nothing wrong with the quality on them. And I think they're going to be a good deal per strand. But this is dyed jade. Dyed jade. It's not something we normally carry a lot of. This is the, I think these are the 4mm sizes in the dyed jade. Like I said, if you know us, that's not normally our thing, but there are so many different colors. You can't tell that in this because the 4mm has the fewest colors, but we're going to keep them and we're going to hopefully get a nice deal on these for you. They're going to be fairly inexpensive per strand, and there are going to be a lot of colors. And we know coming into, you know, it's Easter is pretty much here, so it's a little late to be shopping for Easter. But coming into the spring and coming into the summer, I know a lot of you out there like to use all different colors, and sometimes dyeing is the only way to get a consistent or fairly consistent color, and sometimes the only way to get different colors. So, you know, we don't have any problem with dyed things as long as we know they're dyed. Right? And so these are the 4mm. And then we have the 6mm. Now look at these fun colors. Those are 6mm. And we have the kind of pastels, and then we have kind of the berry kind of tones. So these are the 6mm dyed jade. These are full strands. Full strands. Susan says, I've gotten dyed jade from you years ago. That cranberry is especially pretty. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we carry it. We just generally don't bring it in this kind of quantity. Like this is a lot. This is a lot for us to bring in. But I think, you know, we were going to contact them and say, we didn't really order these. These aren't, but after looking at them, I don't see why not. I think they're really pretty. I think they're very nice. And I think it's worth it. Once I work out what the price is going to be, I think a full strand is going to be about $7 or something like that, which is not crazy at all. Especially for as many beads as you get. I think there's 66 to 100 beads, depending on the size, something like that. And you're getting a lot for $7. So it's something that, you know, if somebody's looking for a color, they might find it in here, right? Even though this is dyed, it's still really fun. It seems to be dyed well. Like I always check. One thing to always do if you're checking to see if things are dyed well, check the string that's inside on your darker colors. So you check the string, and if the string is dyed, then there's a possibility that they're not dyed well. and that it will come off. These strings are not dyed. I'm going to take some of these and dunk them in some water and kind of let them set for a while to make sure nothing, you know, drips off or changes, the water doesn't change color. We always like to check that because if you wear them and, you know, we all sweat, if you wear them and you sweat or you get in the rain, you don't want it to drip, right? You don't want your jewelry to be changing your skin colors. So we always do check that, but we're pretty certain that these are really well done, and we're gonna sell them and see if you like them. Sarah said, I just used my last strand of white jade last week. I've been trying to find more. Well, there we go. We have some nice white jade there. And Vicky says, great accents to some fancy focal pieces, right? Sometimes you just need different colors, right? Now, like you can get some of this color. You can buy aquamarine, or you can buy in some of these, like you can get the some of this almost like this color in like a morganite, but it's expensive, right? It's expensive sometimes for these other colors because, you know, you start to get into weird colors in gemstones and they're more rare, and then you have to pay for that. So these are going to, I think we're going to split them into the online store and into the physical store. I don't think these are going to make it in to save 20% on, but like I said, I think they're going to be around $7 a strand. So it's not like it's going to, I think, break anyone's bank, I hope. And if it does, spend that on food and, and things, necessities, not beads, if you're going to be breaking the bank, right? But yeah, I think it's going to, we're going to get these into the online store. That's the goal anyway. So hopefully by the end of this weekend, we'll have a chunk of this stuff on. But that's not all. That's not all. That was just the 6mm, the 4mm and the 6mm. We also have, now I believe these are, let me make sure, these are 8mm. So we have 8mm, and like this, I was like, is this tiger eye or is that, no, it's dyed jade. It's crazy. It's actually pretty well done. And then here's more in the 8mm. And then here are some of those other fun colors also in the 8mm. I'm moving my camera here. So there are lots and lots of fun colors there. Let me see if I can raise this up just a little bit so you can see more of those colors. There they are. There they are. So those are the 8mm ones, and we'll be adding those to the online store and in-store for all of you. You know, we're trying to bulk up some of this stuff. You know, this kind of thing is great for anybody, but it's especially great for beginners because beginners love the color. Until you start to learn gemstones, people are often very intimidated as a beginner. And really all they're looking for is something pretty to make that they can wear. And they don't want to spend a lot of money until they see if they actually want to, you know, continue making jewelry. So this kind of thing, and that's one of the reasons we decided to keep it as well. These are great, $7 a strand or something like that. Great for a beginner. You can buy one strand and make a necklace out of it. You're not spending a lot of money. You're getting pretty colors, and it's something to try out. So these will be going into the physical store for all of you who are local, and also into the online store. We're going to split them up. All right. That's the anyway. That's the goal. Okay. So those are those. Let's see, what else? Oh, I do have, there they are, they were buried. I do have the 4mm, whoops, in those colors as well, in the lighter colors. I thought there was another bunch of them. So there they are. So we'll have those out as well. Let's see here. Next up, somebody's saying we need to get vintage iridescent glass crystal bracelets. We let you make your stuff. We let you make that. We just supply the beads. We just supply the beads. But you can definitely, that galaxy glass is going to be some pretty fun stuff. I think it's going to be great for bracelets too. Let's see here. We have, these are actual gemstones now. I told you we had some gemstones. The rest of that's been glass. I mean, jade is a gemstone, right? But these are non-dyed, gemstones. And there's white turquoise, there's tiger eye, there's zoisite, ruby and zoisite, tourmaline, rhodonite, moonstone. I forget what this one is. It's pink aventurine, moonstone. I'm trying to go through all of these. That's the tourmaline. There's labradorite in there. You can see that flash. There's the rose quartz. There's aquamarine. There's this one is I don't want to say kyanite. It's not kyanite. Blue aventurine. Yeah, and there's citrine in there. Anything I missed? I don't think I missed anything. I think the first one, that's amazonite there. So those are 3mm gemstones, faceted rounds, 3mm faceted rounds. For all of you that like that small stuff, we have one particular person who is really purchasing 3mm stuff right now to work with, and so they want to use us as one of their main vendors. So that's another reason we're getting some of this 3mm, especially the gemstones, in like that. So, you know, if you are purchasing a good quantity of things and you're looking for something, we can help you sometimes with that. So never feel afraid to reach out to us. All right. So there they are, beautiful, natural 3mm faceted rounds. If you like that small stuff, there it is. Okay, now the one thing I didn't mention, Harry says, talk about temptations. I could see multiple strand necklaces with pastel colors. Yeah, do it. Do it. I want to see it. That's why. I like when you make stuff, Harry. A lot of you out there, we see your stuff. You put it in the design challenge group. We love seeing it. And you all make some really interesting things and nice things, and it's always a pleasure to see them. So if you do make things with our beads, we hope you will show them in the design challenge group on Facebook. These are, they call them clay beads. These are polymer clay. Sometimes they take like old records, like the vinyl records, and they chop them up. These are not that. They're like that, but these are a type of polymer. And they make them into these little beautiful beads. Now this is the 4mm, I think. Yeah, the 4mm variety. And we have not really carried a lot of these before, because when they do the records, these can be exceptionally expensive sometimes when they're vintage records. But this is the same look, and they're a polymer, and they're really cool. So we got them at a good deal. We're going to pass along that good deal to you, I think. Well, I know, as long as the deal is good enough, right? It's still going to be a good deal. These are full strands, and they're really cool. So these are the 4mm colors. And let me see if I can dig around here. I don't go to 6mm yet. I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you the 6mm. We're not going to 8mm yet. So 6mm colors. There's some 6mm colors. I love these kind of rainbow ones. Those are my favorite. Oh, Harry said, I posted that necklace today in this challenge group. I used a green girl frog for the photo. Good. I like frogs. I'm going to have to check that out. I haven't been online again all day. And it says, I'll need some of those mixed ones. They look like the candy necklaces, right? Yeah, absolutely. Who didn't like candy necklaces? I love them. I would still probably eat them. I'm trying to stay off sugar, trying to be good. But I love the candy necklaces, right? So we have that in the 6mm, and then we also have these colors. These are fun. I especially love like this orange and the green. So those are 6mm. And then we have, let me put these in the box. Then we have beautiful colors in the 8mm. And these are probably some of my favorite. I wish they would have come in the other color and the other sizes. But I love this sage green. I love green, you know that. If you watch these often enough, this is a beautiful sage. On my screen, it's coming in a little bit brighter than it actually is. It's there. That's actually better. When I touch it, it changes color with white balance. But this on my screen is just about exactly the way they are. So that's the 8mm. And we also have these colors in the 8mm as well. So these are going to be going into the online store and the physical store. We're going to split them up both. And I'm just trying to see. I'm just looking at my paperwork. I think we're going to be able to give you like quite exceptional prices on some of these. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. These are going to be fairly inexpensive per strand, and they are full strands. These are big strands. All right. Okay, let me put these in the box. And I'm going to flip the camera around because that's what I have to show you for today. So let me flip this around. Hello again. Hello again, everyone. Let me wind this up. This little tripod has a little, you can't just push it up and down. It has a little winding mechanism, which I guess is more, maybe more accurate. I don't know. But so that's what I have to show you today. Hopefully you're excited about those. I am. I think that's a good choice. Like I said, I don't even think we ordered the dyed jade. I was talking with Andrew. I'm like, did we order this? I don't remember picking this out. But sometimes when we do have, you know, when we go to a show or we have a vendor come by, we get kind of the manic. Do you get the manic time when you're at a show or buying stuff? Sometimes you forget what you've actually ordered. It does happen. So I don't know that we actually ordered those, but we're going to keep them because I think they're good. And like I said, especially for, I don't want to say especially for beginners because that's not true. It's for everyone, but beginners, like I said, who don't want to spend a lot of money getting into it and seeing if they enjoy making things, but they want something colorful. It's good. It's great for them. And if you're making jewelry and you want to make fun jewelry, I think it's going to be good for you too. Because you can make really bright colors or really festive colors for very little money. And then if you're selling, of course, you're going to mark it up and sell it on. And that's the good thing. Beadnesia. Beadnesia, Tracy says, right? That's pretty much, that's what happens. Especially if you get us in our environment, right? You get us here at the store and you're showing us stuff. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. So I don't think we ordered them. It's not something that I would be like, you know, normally raving about, but maybe I had in my mind that we were going to start up classes again. And that's why I got them. It could be possible. But like I said, either way, we're keeping it all and we're going to get it online for you. And we're going to have it in store. We're going to split up most of these to be both online and in store. Which also means if you're ordering them online and you can't put any more into your cart because we're out of stock, we might have some in store. So you can always add a note to your order. And when we see that note, if we have some in stock in store, we can send you an additional invoice for that. And we're always, you know, we can always do that. We'll just send an invoice, you pay the invoice, we throw it in with your other package. Super easy. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it today. So if you're just tuning in, hello and goodbye. We're going to be closing this up. So you can watch the rewatch on YouTube and Facebook. We're happy to answer any questions you have if we see them. The best way to reach out to us if you really want to is info@allegorygallery.com. We try to go through our emails as often as possible. Some days we're not at our desks or at our computers at all. In order to do that, and I like to be able to sit down and kind of think, right? I don't like to do answers on the fly. I'm not good at that. I don't like using my phone to type out long emails, and I'm always seem to be writing long emails. There's something on Facebook, I think I shared it on my personal page, about how Generation X One way to win them over is to use correct punctuation and write long emails. And I just laughed because that's totally me. We did grow up in a time when that was kind of, email was just starting to be a thing. I mean, I know email goes way back, but the main kind of, happening to the general public, email was starting up, and you still wrote an email like you'd write a letter, right? You had the correct greeting, and you had the correct closing, and you had correct punctuation. And I'm still a little bit of a stickler for that in my own brain. Like, I don't care what people send to me. It doesn't matter. I don't judge, but when I write it for myself, I judge myself harshly. So I can't, the point of that is that I can't do emails on the fly on the phone. So if it takes me a few days to get back to you, especially right now when we have so much up in the air, try not to hate us for that, because it might take me a few days to get back to you. But generally we do get emails. I generally try to check my spam. Sometimes I'm not great at it. But my spam empties itself every so many weeks, every 2 weeks or something like that. So I do try to check on it before that all happens. So that I don't miss anything important from any of you. But just know that it does sometimes take me a while to get to emails, but it is the best way to reach us, because with us now broadcasting over to YouTube and in various other places, it's just easier that everything comes to one place. We used to ask that you message us on Facebook, and that's still good for some things, but email is really best because I can check that anywhere, and it's just easier. And I don't have to pop on Facebook for it, right? Sometimes that puts me into a different zone. I start doom scrolling, right? So I don't want to do that when I'm trying to answer your questions. So send us an email if you have any questions, and we'll try and answer as quickly as we can. And if you have something that's super, super top priority, needs to be answered right now, one of the easiest ways to do that is to send us an email, put it in the subject line that like needs attention or attention please, something like that. Or you can text message the store. And if a text message comes into the store, even if I'm not here and it's super important, somebody can answer it, or they can relay it to me. So that makes things easier. So any questions? If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get through if I see anything new popping up, but I hope you're all having a great week. It is almost Friday for us here, at least in the US. I know some other places it may already be Friday, or it may be another day, but it's almost Friday. If that means anything, it means nothing to me. I don't know what day it is most days. I have to look at my watch or the calendar to know, but I know it's almost Friday. And I do hope that you have had a great week, and we will see you here tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to show you, since I just showed you everything today. I should have saved some of that, but I was too excited. So I don't know, maybe we'll just chat tomorrow, or maybe I'll tell you what I got online and you can go grab it at that point. All right. Remember, you can always check out the allegorygallery.com website. That's the word. And if you go to the shop tab, you can go to the latest editions, and you can always see the latest things we've added to the online store. So if you're ever wondering, hey, have they put anything new out lately? Just go to the latest editions collection and you will see all the new stuff. All right. And don't forget, join up for our email list. Why not? Go to allegorygallery.com, fill in your email at the very bottom of every page, or any page. You don't have to fill it out multiple times. Just your email at the very bottom of any page, and jump on their email list, because every once in a while I send out an email, and sometimes we send out a special, few hour long discount code. You never know. You never know what's going to come in the email. So sign up. Be our friend. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever it is in your neck of the woods. And we will see you back here tomorrow around 5 o'clock. All right, everybody. Have a great one. Bye now.